Hi, everybody. I was beginning to wonder if I was going to come on. There was several seconds that went by before it connected. So this is Judy Tuttle from Tuttle Up Stamping. We're about to tuttle up and get some things done together in community over Facebook Live. A lot of you out there bought my craft along kit for this week. I'm so excited about the projects we're doing today using the Friends of the Ocean bundle. So this is a spring break craft along. And when I say we, I'm talking about my friends here. Let me bring up this graphic. So Lisa Bauer, Erica Serwin, myself, Ange McKay, and Rhonda Wade. We have all teamed up to bring you a full week of projects to help your spring break just fly by, right? Yesterday we used let me get rid of that. We used and maybe I'll just go ahead and go to my hands so I can show you all this. Um, let's see here. Let's go here. I'm going to pull this out just a tad like that. Yesterday we used the Year of the Flowers bundle. Very romantic, nostalgic. You can create cards that are very personalized with the blooms for every month. And we have some great, hi Christina, thanks for joining me again today. Some great sentiments, right? And I love these sprigs of green and this label right here. So yesterday's projects were this cute little treat box, right? We filled it with some fun flower candy that we found. Hi, Brenda, thanks for coming. That we found on Amazon. And this box was made using those Everyday Arches dies. I think it's adorable. So that was one of the projects yesterday. And the other project was this flower card, and you could personalize it. You could do 3 flowers or 2 flowers or even just 1 flower if you wanted to. I used my flowers to represent my kids and my grandkids. So May is my son Carson's birthday. July is my granddaughter Lucy's birthday. October is my grandson Lincoln's birthday. November is my daughter's birthday. This is a fun little flip flap fold. And if you notice this paper in the background here, that was our technique for yesterday. It was called a faux suede technique. It's very soft and pretty, and then it opens like this. So it flips and it flaps, okay? Right, like that. The ribbon helps keep it all tied together. So that was yesterday's projects. Today we're just going to the next two. If you're crafting along with me, we're going to the next 2 projects in the PDF. And I know I showed you guys yesterday what all the craft along people got in their kits. But it is incredible. 2 whole, oops, I'm dropping things here. Let me put that away. 2 half packages of designer series paper, the Friends of the Ocean paper, and the Timeless Plaid paper. 2 full bolts of ribbon. We had 2 full packages of embellishments and PDF that is, you guys, stunning project, stunning pictures. This is a hefty PDF. So if you want to get your hands on this PDF, I know a lot of you have your own stuff. You can either buy it by going to the registration link in the description after this is over, or you can place a $50 order this week in my online store and you can get it that way as well. I do have one craft along kit still available. The link to that will be in the description as well. Okay, so the other thing that you need to be aware of is we also included these cool, okay, this, feel like I need to pan out a little bit. There we go. We also included technique cards, and these, hi Sue, these will fit into 4 by 6 inch photo sleeves if you want to put them together in a place where you'll always be able to find them. These will continue in the future. So you see I made an extra of that I say fox suede. My friends make fun of me for saying that. Faux suede. And it is super soft. I wish you guys could touch this and feel this. It's really pretty. Today, we're going to do this whitewash watercolor, which is super cool as well. Okay, so today's projects are so fun. Designed by Erica Serwin. If you guys know anything about Erica, she is just an incredible designer and artist. And also, I'm lucky enough to call her my friend. She's super sweet and has poured a lot into me over the years. So I'm very thankful for Erica. But we're going to start with the technique, actually, because it needs a little dry time. So we're going to do two things today. We're going to make this card. Isn't that cute? And you might be wondering, how did she color those lobsters like that? That's what I'm going to show you today. There's the inside of the card. And then we also use the same technique here on the crabs. And I have to be honest with you, you guys, I've never done this technique before. So it's kind of fun for me as well. All right. We're still learning things, right? Okay, so what you need is you need to cut out of your packet of paper about a half of a sheet of that crumb cake cardstock. I'm going to pull out my Versamark here. I'm going to have my detailed images of my crab and my lobster. And we need some white embossing powder. And we'll need our embossing gun. Okay, so that's what's going to get us started. So I'm going to start by taking my lobster here and inking it up. And I'm going to press it onto my paper right here. Now, I'm going to do this 3 times. And the reason why is that I want 2 for my card. And I want 1 for my technique card, okay? Because I want 1 to remind me how I did this project. So I'm going to put another lobster right down there. Is it starting to warm up in Ohio, Sue? It's been really beautiful here. And Christina, I don't know where you're from. Maybe you told me before, but it's not coming to me right now. Brenda's right here in Midland, Texas with me. Paradise, right, Brenda? It is a good place with good people, which is what's important, right? Okay, and then I'm going to do 3 crabs. 1, 2, making them all up with Versamark. I could have also used white craft ink too if I wanted. I'm using that as part of our technique today as well. Okay, 3 crabs, 3 lobsters right there. Okay, I'm going to grab my white embossing powder. I just noticed I'm missing my spoon. That's not very good. So let me grab a spoon over here. My stash. There we go. And I'm going to cover each of these. Each of these with white embossing powder. Okay. Get a really good coverage on each of my little sea creatures here. Has anyone out there ever done this whitewash technique before? It was new to me, and I'm glad that Erica introduced it to us. Maybe it was one from earlier years that I've just forgotten about, but I really don't remember. Okay, I like to flick my paper a little bit, get any excess off. Okay, and I'm going to put this away. I won't need this anymore. I just got white embossing powder everywhere. But part of the fun of being crafty is being messy, right? Maybe I can blow it away with my heat gun here in just a second. So I'm grabbing my heat gun and I'm going to heat emboss these creatures. Sorry, it's going to be a little loud for just a moment while these guys get embossed up. It really does make the difference. And you guys, when you're heat embossing, you can see that it turns from dull to shiny. And that's how you know it's done, when everything is shiny. This is going to take a little bit longer because I have 6 images that I'm heat embossing here. Okay, let's move to my lobsters. Nice. Thanks for giving me that information, Christine. Sue and I are both Iowa people as well. Sue actually grew up in Iowa, but now lives in Ohio. And my dad was stationed at Wright Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio, for part of my elementary and all of my junior high and high school years. So we all have Ohio in us there. And I just moved to Midland, Texas about almost 2 years ago now from Nebraska. We were there for a very long time. Okay, so everything's heat embossed. You see everything's shiny now, right? And now we're going to start the magic of this watercolor wash. But then we're going to have to wait a minute. Boy, I really got that embossing powder on everything. It's going to be okay, but I'm going to try to get some of it off there. All right, so what we're going to do, this is very fancy. I'm using like a watercolor dish here, but you could even use just a clear block if you wanted to. I'm going to take my white craft ink here, and I'm just putting a little dab will do ya, in that watercolor container there. And then I have a aqua painter. You don't have to have an aqua painter. In fact, we just stopped selling these because our manufacturer stopped making them, but we're looking for another source, so hopefully they'll come back soon. You could use a regular paintbrush if you wanted to. I'm just adding some water here to this white craft ink. And I just keep going. I want it a little bit watery. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color in these more solid areas of our crab and our lobster. So the crab's body right there, I'm coloring in. His claws right here. You don't have to be an expert artist at this. You're just getting that whitewash. And think about things you could do this with. Besides crab, you could do it on any color of paper. Probably a darker shade would be better than a lighter shade. And so I'm just taking this craft ink and my water, and I'm just coloring in those areas where I'm going to want to put some navy whitewash on it. Okay, so I'm going to keep going, and I'm doing 3 of each because I'm going to use 2 of them on one project, 2 of them on another, and then I wanted 1 of each for our little technique card. The projects themselves are not too hard to put together, so good news there. Now, it's okay if you get over your embossing. I'll show you what we're going to do about that. It might make it look a little dull for a moment, but we have a way of shining it back up again. There we go. So, not trying to be Monet here. I'm just getting a good wash of this white craft ink on each of these sea creatures here. I want to say crustaceans. Is that a bug, or is that these shellfish? I don't know. Anyway, I don't even know if crustaceans is the correct word or not. I am famous for butchering words and what they mean, so my family likes to make fun of me for that. All right, so there we go. I have 1 more to do here. Just rotating this around. Oh, nice. I don't know if I told you, Sue. My son is graduating from Iowa University in the end of April. So we're flying up at the end of April to Cedar Rapids. And we're going to watch him present his final project to his professors and be there for that. I'm super excited. He's getting his master's in school leadership. He wants to be in administration. So he's been working on it for a couple of years, and he asked us if we would be there for this final presentation, and we're super excited to do that. So we need to make plane reservations here pretty quick. Okay, there we go. Now you can see that some of them are a little more blotchy than others. Like there's some bubbles right here, right? So I'm going to just take a Kleenex and I'm just going to dab off any of the excess ink. Okay. It's kind of fun. It really does kind of make you feel like an artist when you do this. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of set this aside for a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on our card. Okay. So we're just going to let this kind of dry for a moment. Okay. I'm going to pull out my pieces for my card. So I took one of those sheets of Misty Moonlight and cut it in half and scored it down the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, and then I picked this piece of the Timeless Plaid, and we want it to cover the entire surface of our card. Okay, so that means, what am I going to cut it at? Entire surface of the card. Our card surface is usually 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to save that little piece there. Here we go. And then for the inside of our card, oh, I just did that wrong, didn't I? It should have been 4 1/4. Darn it, let me pull out another piece. Okay, don't listen to me. Hi, Bill. Thanks for coming to my Facebook Live. Okay, hang on, friends. I hope I didn't mess you guys up out there. Maybe you were actually reading the directions, right, instead of listening to me. Okay, here we go again. we want this to be 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. I did it again, didn't I? Darn it. Here, let's do it this way. 5 1/2. Sheesh. Okay, sorry, my friends. 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. I think covering the whole front is tripping me up, right? Okay, then this piece is about 1 inch by 5 1/2 inches, and I'm going to keep that for the inside. Okay. Yes, my husband would say that too. He's like, she yells out and it makes me jump. Okay, so it's going to cover the entire surface of our card. That's why, because I never hardly ever do that, but this is the way Miss Erica designed it. So we are not going to argue with that, right? Okay, so when you're covering the whole card front, I think, just my opinion, using liquid glue is a good idea because it helps you get everything shored up. I just like my corners to be good and adhered here. There we go. And now I'm going to flip this over. This is going to go on the front. That's funny, Sue. Made me jump. On the front of my card right there. Cover the whole front. Okay? Now, the next thing the directions say is to get a piece of cardstock. Now, this one is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. This is going to go on the front of our card right here. 3 3/4 by 5. But we're going to do something really fun with this. I think you guys are going to like it. We're going to take out our paper trimmer and we're going to put this paper in, and every 1/2 inch we are going to score it. So 1/2, 1, 1 1/2, 2, 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, and did I miss one? Nope, that's it. So look, we get these score lines. I don't know if you can see that in our card base. And now I'm going to grab my crumb cake ink and a blending brush. And I'm going to brush over, and I want my score lines to go up. You can do it however which way you want, but I'm just adding some crumb cake and accentuating those score marks on the front of this cardstock. All right, I like that. Don't think I need this crumb cake for anything else. Oh, yes, I do, because, no, I don't. I am going to grab my blend and crumb cake, and I'm going to flick on, I love flicking. Do you guys like flicking? I'm going to flick on some spatters. And the nice thing about spatters is they just kind of fill in like empty spots, you know? There we go. Plenty of splatters, right? I'm going to grab my card base and I'm going to adhere this to the front. Isn't that fun? It almost looks like whitewashed fencing, like on a beach. I love that. I'm going to grab my dimensionals. I might need to grab another package here, but we'll get started with this one. I have lots of minis sitting here, but none of the, here's some. Here we go. I like using the edges. If you don't, it's okay. I'm not judging you. Well, maybe I am judging you a little bit because I really think you should use it all up. But to each their own. I'm reading a book that is changing the way I think about things. It's called Let Them. And it's about just letting go of trying to get everybody to do things your way or how you would want to do them. Let them do it. Let them. Let them make their own choices and be okay with it. And it really releases you from a lot of control and just feeling like maybe some inadequacy with that as well. So it's a good book. You should look it up. It's called Let Them, the Let Them Theory. Okay, so there we go. There's the front of my card. Now, while we're still waiting, I'm going to grab a panel of basic white here that I've cut into 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to adhere this 1-inch piece across the bottom right here. But you know what I decided to do is add a little bit of that crumb cake to the bottom edge here. Kind of bring a little bit of that outside to the inside, right? Hi, Deanne. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Laura Kemp. We're doing a new technique called whitewash something. Let's see, what is it called? Whitewash watercolor. So today's cards were designed by Erica. Yesterday's were designed by Rhonda. Tomorrow's will be Angie's, and then mine, and then Lisa Bauer, my friend Lisa. It's been fun doing this collaboration, learning from them. They have taught me a lot of great things. So always open to improving myself in all the ways. So, all right, and then I'm going to just adhere this to the inside here. Okay. I really like that technique of scoring and adding color there. Do you guys like that? That's kind of fun. Something I probably wouldn't think about doing. Okay, there we go. One more thing is I'm going to grab out of my stash here a banner that we already sent to you, already die cut, ready to go. It's this one that is long. It looks like a stylish shape, but it came from the Hugs and Loves die set. And I am going to grab this stamp that says Hello Friend and my Misty Moonlight ink. And right inside that banner, I'm going to stamp these words, Hello Friend. There we go. And I've already cut a piece of that white ribbon in half. We're going to just use, and I like that it's fraying and everything. I think it kind of gives a beachy feel to that as well. We're going to use that in just a second. Okay, how about we pull these lobsters and crabs back out? So we heat embossed it with white embossing powder. And then we added some white craft ink with a paintbrush. I just watered it down a little bit in my tray there. Okay, now here's where the magic happens. Are you guys ready? Dun da da da. We are going to take our marker, and I'm using the fine tip instead of the brush tip. Okay, and I am outlining each of these kind of areas right here with my Misty Moonlight. Maybe I used Night of Navy. I probably should have used Misty Moonlight. It doesn't matter. I'm going with it. This is what I used on my card. So any color of ink that you want to use to whitewash your critters with. Okay? There we go. We're going to do one more here. Then I might finish up the ones for... So I'm just outlining these areas, and the magic is about to happen. Just hang with me. Okay, right like that. We'll start with the crabs. We're going to grab a blender pen. Now this pen is clear. Uh, Ink inside. It will pull that ink that we just into our white crafting ink. And if we're not happy with how much ink is getting pulled in, we can add more ink. But we're just pulling that marker into that white wash. It's going to give it that whitewash effect. You guys think that's cool? I like it. Okay, I think I'm going to add a little more blue to my crab here. I'm going to add a little more up here, down here. Just keep kind of washing it away and pulling it in so that you have, and you want some spots to be white on the inside. That's the whole point. All right. You do the same thing down here with this one. So blender pens we've had forever. It was one of the first really cool techniques I learned when I first started stamping, probably 25 years ago. I just thought it was the coolest. I'm just going to add a little more right in here. Okay. And then I'm going to hit this with my Kleenex and just shine it all up really well. I'm ignoring your comments because I'm afraid I'll get distracted. So, yeah, do you like it, Christine? I think it's kind of fun and different, right? Definitely gives that peachy feel to it. All right, and then I would take my tissue and watch. I'm just going to rub it over, and the ink that got on that embossed part is going to kind of lift up. So it's shiny again. So look at the difference here. This is shiny because this you can still see some blue on some of those embossed parts. So I'm just going to rub it with my Kleenex here. Shine it all up. Okay. Now let's do the same thing with our lobsters. Just going to outline these little parts here that we want to pull in some navy. This part goes really fast. Now the third one, we only need 2 for each of our projects. So the third one, you're going to finish up and then add it to the technique card when you've got it done. So then you have something to use to help you remember what it looks like when you're all done. All right, you know what? I need to do this guy's claws here. All right, and we'll do the same thing we did with our crabs. We're just going to pull that ink into those whitewashed areas. I find this very relaxing. again, you can keep adding more navy wherever you want it or need it, wherever you feel like you want to pull a little more in. This blender brush does the blender pen does the magic for you. So this uh, craft along kind of brings a full circle moment for me. I can tell you guys this story if you don't mind listening to my story while I color here. About thinking 7 years ago now, I was a hobby demonstrator, just kind of having a class every once in a while with my friends, but I really wanted to do more with my Stampin' Up business. I knew I did because I knew I was going to retire, and there we go. Wanted to do more. And I went to okay, I'm going to leave these two, but just know you're going to want to do 3 of each because you're going to want to put the extras on your technique card. Anyway, I was at a conference for Stampin' Up in Fort Worth, and I went to the bathroom, and when I came out, standing in the lobby all by herself was Erica Serwin. And of course, I recognized her from her videos and things. So I loved her then. And we just started up a conversation because I have no strangers in my life. And I just talked to her about, wow, I would really love to be able to do a little more, but I don't have an upline. I didn't really, well, at the time I did, but I didn't really have an upline that was pouring into me. She was a hobbyist as well. So I just felt kind of lost about how to get started and get moving. And she spent an incredible amount of time with me in the lobby at this convention, just the two of us, chatting with me about these things, and introduced me to Rhonda Wade, who has become my business mentor. And here we are, 8 years later, 7 years later, and I'm collaborating with them on an event. It's just so awesome to be able to be doing this with them. I'm just so honored. Okay, so I'm just cutting these out. I'm lining up my lobster, and so I know every time I see Erica, I tell her how grateful I am for her. She's probably like, stop already. But really, that small conversation she had with me that day changed the trajectory of my Stampin' Up business. She led me to the right resources. And I will say this too, you guys. Right before I met Erica, I had given this all over to God. I was just like, God, I want you to tell me what you want me to do, and you just lead me in the right direction. And I believe that He put Erica there at that moment for me as an answer to my prayers and my commitment to giving it all to Him. I've been so blessed by that. So, okay, so here's my crabs. We're going to put them on the next project. And here is my lobster. So, anyway, I hope you guys love that story. And it really taught me when I go to conferences, be kind to everybody. Give everybody your attention and your time that you can, because you never know how you might affect someone's life, right? Okay, so here's my card. I'm going to take my 2 lobsters here. They're going to pop up right on top right here. And she would probably be embarrassed if she knew I told that story. But it's true. It's a true story. And after that, I just feel like God just kept leading my steps to the right people, to the right group of people in my life that pour into me and give me strength. And I've been so blessed by it. So I think of people like you. That's true, Bill. God has laughed at me a lot. Since that day, I've been blessed with earning 4 incentive trips. I'm working on my 5th with Alaska right now. Okay, so I'm putting that little fun lobster right there, and I give all the glory to God because it was Him who led me to the right people at the right time. And when we're working towards these goals, I have a lot of peace about it because I know that I've given it over, right? My husband might tell you otherwise, but in my heart, that's how I feel. So hang on, I got to make sure I'm doing fine. Okay, I just don't want to put dimensionals anywhere that will interfere with the other lobster and make things wonky, right? Amen, Sue. I believe that as well. Um, so if people don't get you, this is part of that let them theory, right? If people don't get you, they don't understand what you're doing. You just let them think what they want, right? Like you're not going to be able to change their minds other than by just the way you live and how you live. There's a lot of people in my life that don't get this Stampin' Up thing, right? But it's okay because God knows and I know how there's people here that watch me on Facebook that I know have changed me and that I've been able to pour into them at lonely times in their lives. Okay, so I'm taking my sentiment. I'm just blabbering here, aren't I? Good night. Just tell me enough is enough if you need to. Okay, so my label, I just kind of tore it, but it's going to be okay. Is going to go, my ribbon that I cut in half is going to go right there on my label. I'm going to keep this, you know, I'm going to use some dimensionals. I tell you what God laughs at is these Facebook lives I do sometimes. I'm like, how do things happen like that when I'm on live? I don't know. Um, so funny. Okay, here's this one. We actually have one more project to go. So the timely, it does take a little more time to do this whitewashing. I could have had them done ahead of time, but I think it was worth it for you to see the process, right? Okay, here we go. And this is going to go right here. I'm going to add one more dimensional underneath this here. And it might be a little wonky, but we'll see. If it feels wonky, it's probably wonky. That's my scientific interpretation there. Feels wonky, it's probably wonky. Okay, I'm going to straighten this up just a tiny bit. There we go. Hello, friend. How cute is that? Isn't it unique? Yeah, it does take time, Brenda. I agree, but it's taking time too because I'm talking a lot here. So, but some cards are worth a little bit more, right? There we go. And then all I need to do on this card to finish it up is to add some of my white spots here, right? And again, thank you to all of you who took my craft along and joined me in this effort. It means a lot to me. Okay, that banner. It's just doing funny things, but it's going to be okay. And there's the card. And there's the inside of the card. Okay, so that card's done. Next, I'm going to make this cool box with you. How cute is that? It's got the crabs, and this one really goes together super fast. So we're going to grab a piece of that Misty Moonlight from our Craft Along stash here. I'm going to pull that out. The directions say to cut it at here we go. We are cutting it at 8.5 by 9.25. So let me pull out my paper score trimmer cutter thing. And I'm going to go to 9.25 because it's already 8.5, right? It's 8.5 wide already. So I just need to cut this at 9.25. Then I'm going to start doing some scoring. So it says on the long side, this is the long side, score it at 1.25. Right here, make sure you're using the score blade and not the cutting blade. 1.25 and 8. Yep. 1.25 and 8. Okay, and then we're going to flip it around. And on the short side, we're going to score it at 1.25. 4. 5.25. And 8. The fun thing about this box is there's very little cutting we need to make the box. So let's just take our bone folder and fold everything inside. Hi, Kristen. How are you? I want to say knee bomb. Is it knee bomb or nigh bomb? When I see your name. Thank you for crafting along with me. I hope you love the projects we're doing today. We're doing this awesome whitewash watercoloring technique. Super cool project. Okay, so I'm just scoring all these on the score line. And here we go. So these two ends, this is the top of our box. This is the bottom of our box. Oh, yeah, you're right, Brenda. I forgot about that. The scoring over 1/2 inch is pretty cool too. Okay, so this little 1/2 inch section right here, all we're going to cut away are these little rectangles. And you know, I like to do a little kind of angled cut there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other end on that 1/2 inch little piece right there. And that is all the cutting away that we have to do for this box, is that right there. Okay, then I'm going to come up on each of these score lines and cut up just to the score line. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just to the score line. Now, you can go back in, which I always do, take a little bit of that thickness off those edges if you want. Not mandatory. I just feel like it helps everything to kind of lay down a little smoother. So there are great directions in our PDF on how to cut this. So those are all there for you. Then I'm going to flip it around, do the same thing on this other side. I'm just going to take a little bit of that thickness off those edges. Okay, there we go. Okay, before I put the box together, and I say this because I learned this the hard way on my box, we're going to flip this over. Now, this is the tab that's going to hold the whole box together, right? So this is going to be the back of the box. This is going to be the front of the box. So flip the whole thing over so that your 1/2 inch edge is on the left. Grab your little crab again. Grab your Misty Moonlight ink pad. Pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to stamp 2 crabs here on the front of my box. I'm going to put one kind of right there. And another one kind of down here at the bottom. There we go, like that. Then, before I put that away, we have a die that is one of those everyday arches, and it is white. We're going to pull that out. We're going to need that. I'm going to grab my thanks so much here. I got a little bit of that embossing powder on this stamp, so I'm going to clean that off real quick before I use it. Up in the upper right-hand corner of that arch, right there, we're going to say thanks so much. All right. I think I don't need those ink pads anymore. All right. I'm going to flip it back over in this 1/2 inch side right here. I'm going to flip it to the inside, and I'm going to add some tear and tape right to the edge there. Tear and tape is the strongest tape we have, and it's really ideal for all things 3D, right? Especially skinny edges like this that you need to get some adhesion to. And pull off the wax paper here. So if you're watching this on replay later today after I'm done, or tomorrow or tonight or whatever, you know, if it's taking too long for you, do you know that you can increase the speed of how fast you watch it? And I have never heard my voice with it on fast. I'm sure it's very entertaining. Okay, so there we go. I have my box all together now. I'm going to go to the bottom, just secure this for the ease of gluing this together. I'm going to use my liquid glue here. So I just pressed in my sides, pressed in the back. The back is where the seam is, and then push down the front right there. And then I'm going to just press it down really well. There we go. Then this is going to go on the front here. Now, this is when you would want to load whatever you're putting inside your box on the inside. And I brought some things here that I thought would be fun. So I have a little bit of fluff, and I found some fluff in this kind of crumb cake color, right? I'm just going to pull some fluff out of here, stuff it in my box. There we go. Add a little cushion in there. And then I got these lotions and what do I want to say? Hand sanitizers from Bath and Body Works. And that's what I'm going to put inside these boxes. So It holds a lot. It's a large size box. So you're not going to secure the top on this one. You're just going to wrap your ribbon around and tie it in a bow at the top. So let's just wrap it around here. Here we go. Trying to do this close to me and in the camera so you can see it at the same time. Okay, so I'm just wrapping the ribbon around the whole box, and I'm going to tie a bow here at the top, and then that is what's going to hold this box shut, is this ribbon, okay? Because once they open it, they're probably not going to tie that ribbon back on, right? The people you give this to don't always feel the same way about it that you do. They'll probably tear it open, see what's inside, give you a big kiss and a hug, and say, thank you for thinking of me, and then it'll be destroyed. Just trying to be real. Okay, so there we go. It's just paper and ink, right? All right, so here's my box with my two little crabs on it right there. Here is my label that's going to go right here on the front. One more thing I need to do is I'm going to grab my green designer series paper, and I'm choosing this one with the checks, and we are going to cut us some grass out of this. I know, weird, right? But it looks really cute. You're going to like it. So I'm going to use these seaweed dies that came in this bundle. I'm going to go off camera here to my die cutting machine, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to cut several of these. So I'm going to go cut them twice. Okay. There's one set, another set. Do it one more time. So tomorrow we have one of each bundle. We have one using the Ocean Friends and one using the Year of the Flower. Cute projects. All right. I'm going to add seaweed here to the bottom and on this label, kind of in this left bottom corner here. There we go. I'm going to put one kind of right there. Put another one, and it can go way off the label, it's fine. One kind of right there. Then I've got these little ones that I'm going to kind of blend in here with this. All right. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, I would love it if you would. I need as many subscribers as I can. So that I can start doing some things with that I've been wanting to do. Okay, so my little crab is going to go right here. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. There we go. Add some dimensionals to this. I expect tomorrow I'll be here at about noon again. I have to get so a couple weeks ago I had a root canal done. And tomorrow I have to go get my permanent crown put on. Ask me how much I'm looking forward to that. Not at all. I'm going to move this fella up just a tiny bit. He's a little close to the bottom, and it's keeping my other crab from finding residence there. Okay, here we go. Go a little bit higher here. So, but that isn't till the afternoon. So my anticipation is about noon again. And then once I get this on, I'm going to add a few dots. And cute, right? Okay, and then this is going to go right here in the center. So I'm just going to use these edge pieces. And pop this right up in the center of my box. There we go. Cute, right? Okay, now we can add whatever dots we want. I think this time I'm going to add some of these vanilla ones. They look kind of like pearls, maybe. Just do it kind of off the edge right there. Maybe a small one right here. And cute, huh? Do you guys like it? Okay, I'm going to pan out, get everything in the camera here. So this is the box we made today with our craft along. So fun. Mine actually has, let me show you what I put in my box. Just kind of pull that off. I put in this one a whole shea butter, vanilla coconut shea butter cleansing bar from Bath and Body Works. Isn't that cool? It fits right in there perfectly. So that was fun. Cute little box. Couple of techniques, as Brenda pointed out. One is scoring and using your blending brush to add some texture to the back of the car. And the other is that whitewash watercoloring technique. That is so, so cool. So, thanks, Barb. If you haven't seen the whole video, go back and watch it, because that whitewash technique is super cool and something I think we can incorporate. It would be pretty with flowers, right? Can you imagine doing flowers and using pinks and yellows and stuff to add that watercolor technique? Thank you. Thanks, Christina. Barb, I'm glad you're here. I didn't see that you had popped in. I know the root canal was pretty terrible. Yay. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm going to come back here to me and say my goodbyes. I'm always humbled and grateful that you come and spend your time with me. And I hope that I have inspired you in one way or another, maybe just by my stories and maybe just by my crafting. But regardless, I'm glad God is using me in some way in your life. So God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow about noontime for day 3 of our spring break craft along. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.